So for these next few videos, we're going to be showing you guys a little series of my childhood, kind of how I grew up, little different places, little bit of stories, just so you guys could get to know me a little bit better.
So how was it as a graffiti artist growing up?
You know, back when I kind of started doing it, it wasn't just like graffiti. There was a lot of stuff that kind of came, you know, with graffiti and stuff, especially like if you were doing it at a pretty high level, you know, there was a lot of other shit that kind of came with it. At the time, I didn't really have a purpose. You know, I didn't have any kids. I was like really young. I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. And that was kind of something where I kind of found myself a little bit. I found like a passion. And then, you know, you discover this like whole world of like all this, man, you know, and you even if you're not into it, you really come and you see like all these names, all kinds of shit. It's like there's something more behind it than it's just vandalism, you know what I mean? My experiences, you know, doing graffiti were good, you know, like I met a lot of good people. I still know a lot of good people because of it. And, you know, it's really cool to, you know, now I'm 33 years old and, you know, I could still have great relationships with a lot of those people that I did graffiti with. If you're not able to kind of like, you know, stay away from certain things, you know, you could go down a rabbit hole and it could be really bad, you know, and I've tasted that before, you know, I've gone down that rabbit hole and, you know, luckily I was able to get out of it, but, you know, just as many people that I know that did good, a lot of people got stuck in it in other ways, not so much graffiti, just other stuff that came with it, other life stuff.
So do you feel that you ran into a lot of setbacks? Like,
yeah, I did have a lot of setbacks doing graffiti. Obviously, you know, like going to jail. But at the same time, a lot of the lessons that I learned at that age because of graffiti, I think they kind of like, it outweighs the bad, you know what I mean? But obviously at the time, when you're going through all that stuff, when you're going to court, when you're getting busted, when, you know, your family kind of hates you, you know, people don't really like you, you got to watch your back everywhere you go, it doesn't really seem worth it, you know? But at least for me, I benefited from it because I didn't just stop with graffiti. I was able to get into tattooing and, you know, so if it wasn't for graffiti, I wouldn't be tattooing.
So what were some lessons that you learned from graffiti?
Some lessons, definitely like the competitiveness, you know, and also like that attitude, you know, you don't really give a fuck about what people think, you know, and I think you kind of have to have that when you start tattooing, because if you're too worried about what this artist is going to think or this artist is going to think, you know, you're going to be in your head all the time and you're going to second guess yourself. When you're doing graffiti, you know, if you're doing crazier stuff, if you second guess yourself, you could die. You know, most likely you are gonna die, dude. You know, if you're running across the freeway, you're hanging on a bridge, you know, and you're second guessing yourself, you know, you have a good possibility of dying, you know. So I think that kind of installed that mentality in my head, you know, kind of, you know, not to be afraid of whatever, of what people thought, of whatever, you know. The art is there for everyone to see. It's there for people to critique. That's what it's for, you know. Damn, this is crazy, bro. Damn, bro, this is crazy. I haven't been down here since like probably like 2009, bro. Damn. Yeah, it's been a long time. A bad story. I remember this one specifically because we actually ended up getting arrested here. So we were in high school back in like 2008. Like a group of homies from school were like, you know what, we're gonna take the bus, we're gonna go to downtown, you know, we're gonna hit some spots in the LA River. We entered right there through Soto, like where the Sears Tower's at. There was an entrance right there. A lot of people used to enter through there, but it was, you know, obviously it was a little bit of a burn. But, you know, we entered through there, you know, we had like backpacks with paint. We're walking through the riverbed and we see another group of dudes. We think they're riders, bro, so there's no reason to run or to take off or anything. So, you know, we keep walking and we're like, you know what, eventually we'll run into them and we'll see who it is or whatever. And we turned around because we heard like these footsteps, like kind of running. We turned around and this group of dudes were running towards us. So then once they got closer, we realized that, oh, these dudes are fucking old, bro. They're not kids, you know, these fools are older. So that's when we're kind of like, what the fuck? It was a little odd. So we turned around and there was another group of I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 dudes. And then right away they're like, get on the ground, freeze. You know, and there was nowhere to go. We were like in the middle of 2 entrances, so there was nowhere to go. So, you know, get on the ground, we get on the ground. They end up arresting us. The reason why, I think back then, there was a tagging crew in LA that was like doing a lot. I'm sure if you're into graffiti during those times, 2005 to 2010, there was a graffiti crew that was doing a lot of damage down here. As soon as they arrested us, they started asking us questions involving them. We had no affiliation with that tagging crew. But yeah, that was a story that I had here, a shitty story. And that's crazy because it's such a burn, bro. Like back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then, fool, I think like the fucking station's like right there, bro. Like all the helicopters are parked on that roof.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. I think in like 2010, they buffed everything, bro. They buffed the whole river. But before all this shit, bro, all this shit was written on, all of it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy seeing like how much like everything's changed right here, dude. But and then too to see like the script, bro, like rest in peace. That's crazy, man. When I was doing it, none of this stuff was here. None of the graffiti here was here. Like none of this, none of that. I think the only one that was there was the Pharaoh, the Pharaoh that was over there on the front of the bridge. But I actually had done that one. I did that one by myself. So I didn't hit it with anyone. I was alone when I had done that one. There's security in here at night. So when I was actually doing it, I was on it, and the ledge on that one is like it's probably like this big. Like it's really small, right? Like it's a small little ledge. So when I was on it, I remember hearing a noise on the floor, like on the ground, and I was like, what the fuck? You know, what is that? And then I looked down, and it was like it was a foggy night, and there was a security guard underneath the bridge. So I was like, oh damn, dude. But you know, your adrenaline is so high, dude, that I was just like, man, let's just do it, man. Let's finish it. And sure enough, I don't know if maybe he felt like sympathy for me, or he didn't care, or maybe he didn't want to scare me, but he let me finish it. He didn't, you know, I didn't make any eye contact with him or anything. And actually, when I had gotten on it, I don't think I think this was maybe open before, but the way that we were able to get in through here, this is not how we parked. We actually parked on the street that way. We walked all through Washington here, walked all the way through the backside over there. We walked this whole thing up here, and that's how we got in through this spot. 2010, you see it? You see it? 2010, you could barely read it, but yeah, 2010. So what is that, about, 13 years ago? Right? It's crazy, man. Good memories, bro. A lot of good memories, but also a lot of dark times too, you know. But you know, it was like part of growing up, and you know, it was a big part of my life too, you know, like fun part of my life, you know.